Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the promos for PUBG European League. It's going to be starting in 2020. We don't know who's going to be there yet. We've got to see what the 4 teams are going to join them. I'm Lee Demon Smith, and joining me is Lauren Panty Scott. And we've had, well, 2 CIS winners today. Is it going to be the CIS day? We're going to keep on going? We're on to Sanhok next.
Have we seen a CIS winner on Sanhok yet?
Not sure, actually.
I don't think we have.
Did Navi win it? I feel like Navi maybe...
might have gone close. They had nice drops. They were on the west.
But they were always
quarry.
crap.
They weren't great. So
they
maybe
were terrible
hey,
at Sanhok.
Maybe it's today.
That's their weak point, I would say. It's why they've not done as well in Phase 3 as Phase 2, in my opinion.
No, I'm with you there.
Whereas I think Phase won it like 2 or 3 times, so that's probably why. Yeah, okay. Well, who else could win it then? We've got a couple of CIS teams in there trying to throw the hat in the ring. We'll see. It was an interesting circle, is what I'm going to say yesterday. It went hard west.
Yeah, but it was a circle we don't often see. It was
never seen.
And it was the ENCE compound that it pretty much ended on.
It was that sort of yeah. I was talking to ENCE. It's like the irony is like it's just. But we never seen it go that way. And even looking at the heat maps, it hadn't gone over that way. So it was a new one. And that's what highlights the fact that we may be looking at a slightly different patch.
It feels like it could be different. I feel like something's
we got new circles. I'm happy.
Look,
I am delighted.
I'm very happy that we can't just kind of gamble guess every circle ending at the moment. So we'll see if it continues. Honestly, this is just a day and not even a half yet. So look, I'm not going to get my hopes up. Headsets are on. It's time to get ready for Sanhok. This was pretty brutal before.
So that's a plane.
That's not what a plane sounds like. You fly a lot for a living.
No, well, I can't really make a full, you know, jet engine sound.
Well, there we go.
I'm not a beatbox.
Well, you can work on that talent. There you go. You've got your opportunity now. This could be.
It's kind of like the proposal. No. Just me on this one.
That's a short little plane path, isn't it?
Ah, it's bloody Sanhok. You can drop anywhere.
True.
Tiny little map. It's good. Off they go. In the air, the wings are flapping.
Wings are flapping.
Yeah.
We'll see if anyone gets called out by it.
It's going to be the Season 6 patch. You get wingsuits.
Wingsuits, that's it. We're going full Fortnite.
Yeah.
Just throw in some like mech suits, wingsuits, just really
ramp it up. A couple of balls around the map.
Hamster balls. Works in Overwatch,
Hamster
why not?
happy.
Yeah, exactly. You'll be living the life. All right, let's have a look where this goes. We had a very unique circle just yesterday. It moved way further
where Hanny
to the
was
east.
basically.
Yeah.
It went,
And we've been so used to those barn circles. And the funny thing is, if you look at it, barn's not that far away. We'd had so many endings around. It's really not that far. But just those small changes can make such a difference on this map. So, again, we're about to see the circle hit pretty soon as Northern Lights, Airstation Mike, Tornado Energy make it to the southwest island. There'll be boots on the ground pretty soon.
That's a tricky drop for them because they're very much within shooting range of one another. Oh, okay. Well, DA are happy.
Pretty standard circle.
Yeah. As we've seen, don't go near barn in this circle. It is a death zone. The hillside is good, though, sort of where Beautiful Death Mert is. The question is, where did DA go? They've got, obviously, the 4 major compounds that they are looting right now. Which one did they plumb for? Did they go for the one that Mert's in? Do they think that's maybe a better hillside position to the one north of barn? Which is possible. They could edge it over that way. Yeah. Otherwise, the Jokers are almost certainly going to get in it.
I do like, that kind of compound north of barn is really nice. Even just that hillside's really nice.
Yeah, well, it gives them a
massive
ridge,
Yeah, I think that was, was that where Liquid were before? They opted for that, and then
they got about 14 kills out of it, yeah.
Big compound to have. That is a weird-looking elephant.
From above, yeah, it's not the best. It looks fantastic in real life, I was about to say. From this.
That's what they always say.
Wow.
Oh God! All right, I need to focus on the game, but it's really tricky sometimes. Can you just?
I'm just leaving you there. I was about to have a drink, and you just left me hanging.
Help me out.
I'll just sit here holding my cough off for the moment.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
That's the ruins anyway. Yeah, it's. You know what? The game's not 2D. Let's look at it from a better angle. There we go. That's a bit better.
I'm so mature. All right, so what does this circle mean? Not a lot, honestly. It's a pretty easy circle for most people. GamerLegion are used to this. That's been the entirety of PEL. They're fine. ENCE finally have a better way to work through this, I guess.
I guess an adjustment is the Giganten have gone south with this one. Remember, they caught out 7 and completely bridge camped them, which is like a role reversal for 7. So they've managed to get across. They kind of try and set up a bridge camp again. They may catch GamerLegion. I think their GamerLegion will go south as well because they're not going to fall for that. So DA have decided to go for the Crossroads compound. It has given Jokers that hillside compound we were talking about. We kind of expected it. So north of Barn is where the Jokers have gone. Inside Gaming also come out of Paradise Resort. Unity as well. Unity very close to Inside Gaming, almost a compound away at the moment. So they'll stop short of it. It's fine that their rotate's going to be... I was about to say,
he's like, carry on.
Their rotation is going to be free of any danger, but we forget about the drivers in this game. Can be tricky.
All right, so let's look at the prime areas. Unity in this battle with IG, pretty good spot. Jokers, I'd say, currently have a really nice position, so they're not far off. Quick little pick up for Snoopy there, going to find that kill comfortably, but over-peeking on the corner, needs to be careful.
Oh,
does have support, Innocutive, really good covering fire to back him up on this one, and he spots out the next. Innocutive's maybe turned up. Yesterday's game's not happy with, maybe willing to fight for a bit more here.
Inside Gamers are in trouble here. Nade tossed out. He's going to try and go for the quick heal as best he can, get the revive off. But look at Quizzy. Quizzy's already coming in the back, gets caught out in the smoke, and down. It's Mert that's got him down as well. So DA getting involved in this one from across the road, down the crossroads there. Not good. And Quizzy's gone. That's Nade's going to finish him off. So that's a 1-for-1 now. Look at Jokers. Jokers are hedging in. Look on the minimap. They're starting to look down the hillside and see if they can get involved. I don't think there's really any angles they can work from unless they really commit to it.
I was waiting to see how close they were going to go for that one. Because it looks like Tempest is slowly creeping up on the other side of Barn. Kind of traditional ENCE style on that one. So kind of a similar rotation route. But that western side of Quarry and up north to, I guess, Unity, if you look at that kind of entire area, those almost a whole block worth, is about 5-6 teams there. So very, very busy on this side of the map currently. Not surprising. Circle will normally just kind of shift towards this and ends up around that DA Jokers area.
A good nade could work well here if he can get it in the window, but he's overestimated how far he could throw it, it seems.
He's run out of big meds too, down to just bandages and a couple of boosts.
Yeah, both these teams moved into position fairly early, so it is going to cost them.
You're not alone here, boys.
Oh,
no.
So nice. He set that trap. Airstation might just get slaughtered. They are not confirming the kill, though, and he got stolen away from by Recrent.
Yeah, Recrent's like behind them. So yes, that's lovely. ToWzERA's not been flushed yet. Should be soon.
And they lost that one as well.
Again.
And hello, quick math. Secure your kills. Get your points.
Where did he just nab that from? Did he just have really good vision on it? That was a nice.
He's up on the hill. Yeah.
Very nice. Innocutive still standing, still being a pain, but that's just a awkward situation for both teams. Neither of them are going to back out from that, so they're just going to sit there the entire game, just kind of battling back and forth. Finally, Airstation might get into this. Jazza lands a shot towards Insolenso, so that may be a little bit of an avenue in. Maybe keeping an eye on another, but I think Hugstar's just gone down. Yeah, and a flush to follow. So this has gone incredibly badly for Airstation Mike. They need to back away.
Yeah, Jazza, last man standing. Time to go prone. Find yourself a home.
ELGIGANTEN might push this. A nice knock like this, if they get into nade range, perfect. That'd be really, really good for them, right into the pockets of the players in front.
It's Marcelek with the angle, it seems, against that wall, so he was the one that managed to get it. That nade, it is lined up against that wall, but they've managed to back away from it out of the smoke, expecting the nades to come in. Look at it. It was such a precise nade as well, yeah.
If you'd managed to get there a little sooner, that could have been absolute perfection. Not to be, and it looks like they're thinking about the next move for themselves, not the one just in front of them, the one further ahead. Let's see how this circle maneuvers.
I want to talk about ENCE briefly, because they've played in the same compound N47 did, but what they're not doing is what N47 did, is move. They have stayed static in the same positions. N47 would have moved to that compound slightly north of them. It would have given them a much more central position. They would have been down from the Jokers, sure, downhill from them, but they'd have been safe, and looking at the next circle, it would have been prime for them.
I'm just really curious that I want SKUIJKE to be scouting that compound just west of Barn, because that is such a big pickup. The one that often we see two teams splitting. If they can get into that, which I think they're doing,
that's what I was just saying.
Yeah, it's
that's
like I'm just hoping they go
N47 would have gone
it.
there. They would have
100%.
moved, yeah.
So I'm hoping it seems a little slower, right? Stylistically, I don't think they're so used to doing these steps. miikaz might have just scouted and come back, but this, you just go for it, boys.
They should have been there in the last
Lights
phase.
On your heels already.
There's nobody, like, whether it's because they're just not used to this spot, but they should have been in that position in the last phase. Like, that should have been their spot, and then Northern Lights would have been in the position they're in. Instead, Northern Lights are now coming into the back of them, and they might actually get caught and lose a player in the process. Someone that has lost is bjorN. He's gone down for GamerLegion. Caught out, and PG18 are collecting a couple of points here.
Yeah, they're starting to turn up, which is good. Maybe a little warm-up here. Obviously need more, because they were the team that came with a big reputation, a big name to themselves after their performance in Contenders, but they were fragging out last game. This could be another good one for them. Not bad positioning for them. And ENCE have been able to jump up. I think Rustanmar is still on his own. This could be a kill, though. Leans the corner. Lovely insta-flush on that. And now he can work out. That's beautifully done. And actually, the others aren't there to trade. No, but speaking of trade, Maccandark just found Recruit.
Okay, just a little return fire. But yeah, Rustanmar, he luckily for him, he was on the west side in the little shack, so the rest of the Northern Lights were on the right. Okay, it was a decent range shot, you know.
Yeah.
Recruit landing those shots. You know, he was in Na'Vi for Phase 1. It didn't work out for them. It was actually a disaster for the Na'Vi team in general. Obviously turned around and completely changed it around, and it worked out for the better. But, you know, he was there because he's a good player.
Absolutely.
The fact is, you know, he won the Wingman tournament, I think it was Season 11, just before that with Na'Vi. So, solid player overall.
I think Rustanmar's been spotted by the rest of Northern Lights. They want a bit of revenge. He did manage to make it away from Quarry, and I think SKUIJKE and miikaz will be the ones covering back, so maybe allowing a bit of room for Rustanmar. But quick maths, if they move over that ridgeline, they might be able to get a bit of vision. Anyway, Tornado Energy here, moving past Jazza. Jazza's on his own. The rest of Airstation Mike got picked up earlier on, so it's just him left alive.
Yeah, and he's just going to wait and sit and watch and hear and listen. Rustanmar's been found out. He's almost got back to the rest of his team. I think Quick Math might secure it, though. They're the nearest to it. Train hard, skirting around the cliffs. Don't really know where they're going to end up. Looks like it may be into ELGIGANTEN, judging by the path they're taking towards boot camp. It's all good, Solar. The cars are made for that. Just don't tell your insurance company.
Donk. Rustanmar did go down. Deep caught him off in the end.
You know, it's a slow game. The cameramen are starting to find dead bodies.
Yeah, the thing is, right, as much as it's a slow game, there's going to be like...
It's about to go mental.
Exactly. If it hard shifts or like moves like 3 or 4 teams out of place...
If it's hard shifts north, there's a lot of teams out of position. There's a lot betting on southern shift here.
It's a common ending to see it just west of barn, north of barn. Anywhere around that is a pretty common end spot. DA's compound, that kind of trifecta between the Jokers, DA, and ENCE. So if it goes around there, there we go, shifting over that way. Not too surprising.
This goes back to what we were saying with DA. We expected them to possibly go to where the Jokers are right now. That compound up on the hillside is a strong position. ENCE did eventually commit to getting there, but they lost a player in the process. Now they've lost 2. And that's... Yeah, I mean...
SKUIJKE got flushed in hard cover.
No, he's crossing the road. He was crossing the road.
What?
Why are you crossing the road at that point? I don't know, but he was crossing the road.
Oh, no, that's not good. That is not good at all. You have probably the best spot in the game. Not loving that. And now they look vulnerable. Now they look crashable. They look, a little... If people are keeping up with the kill feed and working it out. Absolutely. Yeah. And it may not even be Northern Lights to do the damage. It could be anyone else. They could easily be seeing the kill feed and work this out, especially like some Jokers. Tempest as well. Let's not go beyond the fact that, yes, they'd have to go through Barn, so they probably will die, but they control a lot of the southeast, which is actually very sparse of teams currently.
Yeah, they're sitting on the hill edge position and trying to figure out exactly where it's going to be. GamerLegion up on the north side of Paradise Resort. 7 are out in No Man's Land and Unity at the moment. You know, if we're going to keep up our CIS victors, then Jokers are in the prime position.
Yep.
We'll see whether it works out that way up on that hillside. ELGIGANTEN, not too sure where they're going to go. Train harder on a big south rotate going all the way around. They may even end up with Camp Bravo at this rate.
All right. Let's have a look. Unity up in the north trying to find their way in as well. A little bit of contact with ELGIGANTEN, but they've got to be careful when they decide to shoot here because they are not in the circle, and Quick Maths can make their life very tricky. Bear in mind that there are other teams, Tornado Energy, are holding the southern entrance as well, so for them, it's a very, very tricky approach, and there's not many good options left.
Just wrapping around. I mean, to go around the entirety of Quarry right now is a risk. You know, the blue moves shift. Blue moves shift? Is that what am I on about? The blue moves fast as it shifts through the circles. It's more to the
blue
point.
Could shift.
It does shift.
Exactly. There you go.
There you go.
Yeah,
Jazza's in.
Hey.
For now.
Prone. Play for survival.
I've got a rock,
Jazza.
boys.
That's it. That's all you need. Last crew up in the north here, northeast. This is near Unity and 7. The CIS kind of line up here as well. You do have GamerLegion on this side. They went on a very long way around, and they're not doing too well from it. Pixel's just found the Maccandark's gone down, and the tap's coming out. Last crew trying to keep Unity back in the blue.
Yeah, Maccandark looks like he's going to get finished off as well. So Fexx down alongside him. Now we see down on the other side, Jazza has been found. So that's our first team down. I expect to see many more to follow. This circle is relatively safe for most, but the next one's going to be a murder zone.
Because you've got to look how many teams are on the outskirts here. A lot of them are clinging to the edge of this circle. You have maybe 4 centralized. It's gone north, just about clipping Barn in. Jokers, we said it was a really good spot, and still would have had a good spot if they had all their players alive. They could get a boatload of kills from this, but Jokers are the kings of the hill. DA not bad either. The northeast is not resolved, though. A lot of teams fight for this territory, but this is in the south. Tornado Energy trying to hold back ELGIGANTEN. Nice work from Example, working around the rock well here. Out of bullets now. Goes for the reload, has to buy some time, and he's doing really nice at this. Quick little flush, comes back in. That could have been perfection. Can't make it count, and ELGIGANTEN stay alive.
He had a lot of help from Melman there. It was working out well for them, but finally will get flushed out. Unity also going down on the north side. They're dealt with. 7 have moved in on last crew, sort of coming in almost behind where Unity were, so that's put last crew in trouble. Tornado Energy also obviously finished off down on the south. ELGIGANTEN themselves, I don't think they're going to get much more out of that because Northern Lights are still watching their position. Tempest, now this is nice. They're thinking, they watched the other week. They know that Barn is a death zone. They're not going through it. They're going to push north in towards the back of Train Hard. Train Hard themselves also in the back of someone, and this is over on the west. Yeah,
that shot needed to come through for Recren, and it did, but it was a little bit too long in the making, and now there's time for a response. Quick math do fall, but it's not without replies coming in from further afield. Tempest have found a little bit of contact themselves, and PG18 need to stabilize. They're trying to get the revives in and get themselves ready to go further forward because they're not out of the woods just yet.
Jokers are shifting to a 2-2, keeping their eye on what's going on down by ENCE's territory. So they're covering off a lot of ground. They're well aware that obviously someone could come up on that hillside, which is where Northern Lights most likely will end. ELGIGANTEN wrapping around on the west side. They're going to come in behind PG18. Meanwhile, over in the northeast is where 7 and Train Hard are now clashing alongside last crew.
Yeah, it's a really scrappy battle up there. No one's going to walk out of this with 4 alive, so let's just see who's managing to walk away, who gets into the next circle. 7 are just holding the line desperately. The last... No, it's not, actually. There's 2 still alive. Now there's 1 for last crew, and there they go. Down and out. It was 7 and Train Hard between them, kind of picking them apart, and now PG18 trying to make the run, and it's not gone well. You've got ELGIGANTEN stabilizing, getting 3 still alive, looking pretty deadly here. Trying to swing around on the western approach, but it's not just PG18. Beyond them, you have DA.
Recren's still popping off, though. 4 and counting. Maccandark down. I don't know whether he can finish that, but that looked like he was right on the lip of the window. He got very lucky that they didn't quite come in. Wanderer does go down. Recren's going to try and toss a nade out of his own onto KnorkiS. He actually might find him with that one, you know. Beautiful death will. He'll confirm it as well. And there goes Recren finished off. So PG18 down in 11th place.
Yeah, a couple more kills for sure, but certainly not getting the performance that we want to be seeing. Tempest, a name we haven't been saying as much as yesterday, clearly still doing well, but looking at this position, at this circle, Jokers still hold so much, and I like their flex towards the south. ENCE are in danger, but they're trying to fight it out. The trade comes back in for Northern Lights, though, as miikaz trying to hold this compound. The nade's going to do the damage. The flush, he's going to get some points out of this miikaz. He knows there's a player nearby. Deep is just around that corner. Nice work comes in. That was actually from the Jokers from afar.
Yeah.
But this gives him a chance to get a revive, maybe get a flush, and try and recover what they had.
Now, where are DA going to go from this? They're sitting out on the western side, just making sure it's safe. I think maybe just going to watch and wait for it to play out. There is a crate dropping right in the center of the circle. KnorkiS has to get himself moving in a moment. 7, meanwhile, in Inside Gaming and Tempest all engaging. Now, Tempest are so focused on it. Okay, they do notice the Jokers moving towards them.
Oh, Tab, it's such a perfect angle on that. he's been spotted out, but still has really good vision. Down towards ENCE, they're going to struggle to make it up this hill.
Big downhill nade, that one. They're going to have to keep on pushing, and that's a great little headshot coming out from Tab to catch him. Just how quick these guys can pop off these shots. TRYFFELI on the side, but Set has been took down by Tempus.
And even just the good mentality of Tab to back away from that because nade range became available, but also to go and support the rest of his team. They had that fight engaging with Tempus. They had that trade out. Set being knocked is a big warning sign. Now they're being kept back and kept busy by 7 in the north for now. So it's gone from Tempus potentially being able to catch out the Jokers, but now being pinched between 2 teams.
Well, KnorkiS took down TRYFFELI, so that's finished offense. He just came out of the shack and collected another point for ELGIGANTEN. DA out on the west side. KnorkiS has managed to sneak in. Still in the north is 7 on this northeastern side. Only 2 alive. They do find the last man. That's Hamster going down, and Jokers collect another point.
Jokers on the points grab here. Need to keep control of this entire area. Not too easy. They do need to stay slightly split. You can't just be, you know, that kind of roaming 4-pack. You kind of need that maybe 1 man to watch your back, ensure no one can creep up behind you. It's gone north, so they've got a good step into this now. They're okay. Tab can play it slower and kind of just, I'd say, get a couple, you know, more meters close towards the others, just so he can be in a more supporting position. Because DA are going 2-2 split unless they decide otherwise. Maybe just trying to clear as the nades come through. DA are aware there could be someone over there, and they're exactly right.
Yeah, they know exactly what Rocky's at. They watched him come out and cross the road, so they're just trying to flush that out.
Don't stand still.
Give us
Don't
much
stand
cover
still.
as you can get, and Set goes down. He might even be able to get a bit more on it there. Can't quite catch the backside. And, ooh, look at this. 7 are moving on it. Seven are moving on that.
You see that knock, you're going to start getting a bit closer, but they still have players to get through.
Still.
Yeah, please stop standing still, boys. This is too easy for them, and 7 are on the push. As you said, highlighted it well. It's time to go. They've actually forced Jokers away into a more passive position, leaving a little bit more room for Edelweiss and the boys, and Moon's gone down. They're feeding the beast. This is big work coming out from IG. Yeah,
StarLadder's working well. KnorkiS has been found out, so DA are now free to do what they want. They're going to turn back to IG, so that's a problem for IG now. And SIXMO is going to engage with Pixel over on the western side. Meanwhile, Clip, last man for Tempus, is going to get found out, and Tab will take him down. Another one, StarLadder with that Kar 98, takes Moon down and finishes him. Yeah,
Moon's in all kinds of trouble. 7 are knocking at the door. You have the fight in the north between DA and IG, though. So now that kind of brilliant Kar 98 has been removed from the equation. Busy on another front, but Pixel, nice angle to hold down SIXMO, but the trade comes back in for mert. Nice little approach. Can they get this a clean sweep, though? We can't see who DA are fighting because it's behind the current camera angle. There we go. mert now looking for the last man standing, and that's been our sniper over here.
7 have completely pushed at the same time on the south side, so Jokers are in trouble. They may get flushed. We could see a back-to-back here for 7. And see what happens in its northern side. Jokers will get taken down. StarLadder, oh, we cut away, and StarLadder's just wiped DA. There's 1 man standing. It is Mitraleius. Meanwhile, Sadovnik pushes through and takes out the Jokers. It is some superhero play coming from the 2 teams. Mitraleius gets around the side. Zampik's back on his feet. He's going to flush them down. Mitraleius goes around. StarLadder comes in, and StarLadder will take down all 4 DA members.
He's on 6 kills, and it could have been more. Those knocks were continual towards the team on the hillside, but now he's left in a dire scenario, a 1v3. As good as he may be, this might be beyond his reach. He's going to do the best he can. His teammates have just fallen. If he can grab a couple of points, if he can get another knock or do something, I'd be wildly impressed with this man.
He's just trying to get in the circle right now. He's desperately trying to use what cover he can. He doesn't really know where they are because obviously he lost track of the battle between 7 and Jokers while he was engaged with D8. He's only got bandages left as well.
Range coming in. Buster.
Oh, here they come. You can see the trails straight towards the rock. They're getting the flank around the side. Tries to go for the pre-fire. Turns around. Gets 1 down. Just goes for the flush. Confirm the points. Nicely done. Hasn't got anything else in the tank, though. And Sadovnik will do it. It's a back-to-back for 7. They've turned up today. They really started to step it up towards the end of Phase 3. We finally saw them starting to deliver some big point games. And now it seems that they've got their flow back on. They're back in the groove, and we may be seeing 7 start to charge up that table. What a play, though, StarLadder. I mean, we didn't quite catch the 4-man, but we saw a lot of the snipes he was doing as well with the Kar 98. So finally seeing Inside Games actually turning up at last.
Yeah, a couple of names we did not see performing yesterday, finding a bit of form here. Glad to see 7 performing themselves. It's you know, it's a scary team to look at when it works out, and we're back down to Paul with the interview.
Yes, indeed. Thank you very much, Lauren. Back with Sadovnik. Sadovnik, this is becoming a habit, a good habit, though.
Yeah, sure. It's again me, and I'm feel good when we're taking top 1. We're just making our work.
Yeah, hard work yesterday, much easier today. 2 in a row now, and also, more importantly, in the top 4. When do you start looking at the top 4 and thinking, do we take more points, or do you just take this one game at a time?
You asked when we start to play for top 1?
Yeah, when do you start looking at the top 4 and thinking we can make it into PUBG Europe League?
In this game or?
Yeah, just whenever through the tournament. Is it today or maybe tomorrow?
No, it's today because we did a lot of work yesterday, and today we just, I don't know, just started to play and come to top 4.
So is it magic that's making you work really well now? Is it magic?
Yeah, it's Team Magic.
Team Magic, okay. Sadovnik says it's Team Magic. We're going to go with that. All we do know is that 7 have won back-to-back chicken dinners.
All of our players, of course, you can see them there on the Samsung C27 RG5 monitors. The official screen sponsor of the PEL. 7 back-to-back chicken dinner winners. Maybe it's the monitors, or maybe it's that Team Magic, or maybe it's the realization that they've had a day to fill out these contenders teams and they've got their number.
Look, whatever they did from yesterday to today, it's working, and they just need to keep on doing this.
Whatever they ate yesterday, don't tell anybody about that, because they have been ready to today. Obviously, this is exciting because this might be a back-to-back-to-back, including a Chicken Dinner World Tour. That would be lovely to see. No, I like to see 7 here. This is the kind of stuff that we saw some tendencies of in the last 2 weeks of PEL, where they actually stepped up their game. This is what I expected from them if they were actually playing up to the level. We didn't see that yesterday. I'm extremely happy to see that today. I definitely think that with this here, this is the momentum that they needed. And this is getting to like one of the points where it's, if you want to start a snowball effect, getting your momentum starting to the last 2 days, this is definitely the time to do it.
I mean, they just seem so comfortable compared to the first day and like in PEL. During the first phase in PEL there, during phase 3, they were kind of not comfortable at all. We saw them do a lot of mistakes and stuff. That started to shape up. Then we got here. The first day, they were still a little bit uncomfortable because they were playing against the contenders teams, which was totally different. But you can definitely see that they are super comfortable now, and with that, they're just wrecking everybody.
Is that a little bit of PEL experience coming in now with the ability to adapt as fast as it seems 7 has been able to do?
I mean, definitely. Just something that is totally different playing here from playing at home is, for example, the chairs you're sitting in, the monitors, stuff like that. It's something totally different at home. But you have the PEL teams. They've been staying here. They've been playing on these computers, sitting in those chairs, watching those monitors, so they kind of feel comfortable with that.
You say they can feel comfortable, but on the other side there, we just saw GamerLegion, ENCE. It's almost, we're past the halfway mark of day 2. What is happening with these 2 PEL teams who I think many people probably didn't expect to see in promotions, never mind at the bottom of the table?
It's honestly, for me, it's hard to say. Obviously, something's going wrong for them. I talked a bit with GamerLegion, for example, and they knew their mistakes.
Yeah.
Problem is, I don't think they 100% know how to fix it. They say, yeah, we don't make these mistakes, but it's more than just that. It's the context of it. It is what happens before that, leading up to that one mistake. And I think many of the teams here that when you're trying to improve, they're focusing on too short of a time period. Like, they put themselves in this position and then they lost the fight to a team. But before that, could they have done a better macro rotation? Could they have done a better position? But I want to point out, though, 7 kills, those. Amazing.
Inside gaming.
Odstrilovac. I see you guys don't want to say it. I'll do it then.
You guys didn't.
I don't want
You guys didn't want to say. I was like.
I didn't want to say it, but I did want to talk about inside games.
Yeah.
Because second in contenders didn't really show up yesterday.
No, but here, obviously, showing that the Kar 98 is actually a viable gun here, especially, which is surprising because for me, I don't think it's as viable on Sanhok as it is on the other maps, for example. But he's really showing, I think you saw 3 or 4 knocks, headshot knocks with it, amazing. Put a lot of pressure and possibly destroyed the games for Jokers, which enabled 7 to win the game.
I mean, a lot of people, they stay away from snipers because it's so unforgiving compared to having a DMR instead. But at the same time, if you can manage to get these headshots every time, you're going to be able to get those first knocks, which is kind of the entry point to make a breach. Maybe not the first time you get the headshot, but the second time, they know they're going to be bleeding faster. And you could just make a move from that.
We do have an audience question now, so ask PEL if you have a question. You can tweet us, #AskPEL, and Toby over there has dropped in his question specifically about the drops.
A reader.
You want me to read?
Go for it.
Looking at Phase 3 loot spots, rotation tendencies, how much do you expect Airstation, Mike, and Team GamerLegion to run each other once we get over to Wrangle? I think this question was asked before the games yesterday. But to answer that question, simply for me, like GamerLegion, they are rotating a lot faster than Airstation Mike will. They are, especially in Wrangle, they want to move there extremely fast because they're used to having Liquid around them, used to having teams that will rotate kind of fast around them, so they want to get out of there pretty fast as well.
And basically, Airstation Mike is just replacing G2 that they would play against in PEL, so it's not too much of a change, honestly. I don't think they're going to bump into each other too much. I mean, it all comes down to the games, but it's nothing different for them.
And obviously GamerLegion also has more space. Usually they're crammed in between G2 and Na'Vi in PEL. Now Navi's not there, so there's some more space to the west. So they'll possibly just kind of shift over further to the west and get more loot effectively by doing that.
We did see a lot of scuffles yesterday with those loot drops, but not as many as I expected. I thought we'd have bigger fights.
I mean, the loot drops themselves wasn't the big fights. The big fights was for the compounds in Circle 1. People wanted to show the dominance. It probably will be continuing a little bit today. Not as much, though, I think. Like we're not going to see like 3 teams crashing the same compound that is not a tier 1 compound for the first circle.
We saw it yesterday, for example, on the rank. We saw some of the teams fighting for the old Liquid compound, or what do you call Liquid compound, south of Yasnaya. And some of those spots, people are using them so much. They're used to being able to rotate into those spots, so they might clash because of that, but they generally want to avoid each other until maybe Phase 2 or 3, where they know it's really important to fight for some of the spots.
It also comes down to how good you know the other teams, of course. If you know a team will be playing that compound, you know that they will rotate on like 6 minutes, for example. You rotate on 4 minutes, you're going to be there first, and then you set up an ambush for when they arrive, and you just wipe them out, get their loot, and have their spot.
7 potentially Chicken Dinner World Tour winners. We saw
back to back.
You just jinxed it.
No, but
I
we
think
saw
you
it.
just jinxed it. I think you just jinxed it,
It's
Sam.
meant to be
sorry.
a segue for Tempest, but apparently I just jinxed 7. I was going to say we saw them with the World Tour yesterday. What has happened to Tempest? We spoke them up so much yesterday and at the start. Where have they gone?
Again, they're having either really good games or really bad games. So far, they've had a few bad games. The first 2 games.
2 1-point games in 2 first games. This last game was 7 points, so they're still going to be maintaining the lead here, but 7 obviously with back-to-back.
They're catching up.
They're catching up. It's going to be less than 10 points. I think it's going to be around 5 points separating them from first and second now, because Unity and Tornado Energy, they actually had really bad games in this game, so they're going to be jumping above them, taking 7th. 7th is going to take 2nd spot now.
We will find out exactly how that leaderboard is going to look after our next game. But before we do that, of course, there are 4 spots available in PUBG Europe League. There are 12 contenders teams battling to get one of those spots. This is the PUBG path to pro. These teams want to rise up, and I think it's a perfect opportunity to introduce you to these new contender teams.